These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another How About Them Celtics video. Sam and I are here Sunday, June 16th. I am at TD Garden. We just wrapped up media availability ahead of Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Celtics, I was about to say down. Celtics are up 3-1. Down 3-1 would have been much different vibes at the moment. Mavs obviously had the big win in Game 4, and now they will be looking ahead. However, today we are talking about Kyrie Irving because Boston's own, Dallas's own, whatever you want to call it, people have opinions.
Certainly
he had
not
some
Boston's
quotes today
own.
that we're going to discuss. Do you want me to pull up the video so we can watch the quotes so we can hear it from him, or do we want to just read the transcripts? I feel like the video might be better than just
whatever.
reading.
Yeah, the video's fine. I think it's better than either one of us reading the copy, but we both have the transcript in front of us.
Yes. Okay. So let me pull up the video. You have to tell me if it's lagging at all because I am at the Garden. I think my Wi-Fi's holding up all right, but let me find the.
You've been clean so far, and
while
while Jack's looking, you probably have seen some of the quotes going around from Kyrie's Sunday availability, where he had some things to say about the Celtics, but he also had other stuff he said that people didn't share, which kind of add context to the other stuff. And I'm sick of this guy more than anybody. And I came in the StreamYard room to be like, Jack, we should do this. And Jack was like, no. And he was like, this is why. And I was like, okay, like, yeah, I can kind of see where he's coming from. But there's still like an element of it where it's just like, why? But nonetheless, we will show you everything Kyrie had to say, the talking in circles, whatever you want to make of it. He had some things, as he always does, some things to say on Sunday.
Muted myself. All right, let me share the video. I got it up here. Here we go. This is Kyrie, who's asked about his time in Boston, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to let it run. He has very long answers, but it's important that you guys hear the answers we're talking about. So we're going to listen to 3 answers in a row, all about the Celtics. But again, it is important.
Let's
and if
pause
you haven't
in
seen
between.
the full answers yet, okay, it is good context. So we're going to play the full answers before we talk. But just saying, we're going to play the video. So here we go.
Row on your right, the aisle.
Kyrie, I just want to ask you about your growth, your evolution, spiritually, off the court, on the court. It seems like every interaction that you have is very, very positive. You see that just in your body language, with your teammates on the court. You see that with the chemistry, and you see that when you talk to the press. It seems like there's been a tremendous growth. Can you speak to that? And also, how have you evolved in your view since you left Boston in 2019?
Well, to answer your first part of your question, I would I would be being dishonest if I just took the time to say thank you for putting those words together. In terms of my interactions with people being all majority of the time positive. I'll be honest with you, it's not always positive all the time. I'm human. Sometimes there's some misunderstanding or miscommunications, and it takes a little bit of a longer, thorough conversation just to get on the same page. I think I've just figured out in my life that a lot of people just want the time and space to be heard. They want to be listened to. And then if they respect you and you respect them, then they'll listen to you and give you the space to, give you the space to say how you feel as well. I've talked about it over the past few months, just where I was in 2017 or 18 when I first got traded here to Boston. I wasn't in the place to be able to vocalize my feelings or know how to do that. Was learning how to be a man, learning how to be a father. So part of that evolution came from that of, taking the time to go inside and figure out who I wanted to become. But also I had to accept some of the choices I had done in my life. And, when you look at yourself in the mirror, sometimes you don't like what you see, and that could lead to some depression or lead to some anxiety or lead to other mental health issues. And that's a big thing that I think our generation is spearheading, where I hope that the older generation can take a lesson out of our book that, this isn't just some spiritual 70s type of mantras that we're trying to put out here. We actually believe in what we talk about in terms of meditation and having the ability to slow your life down and making sure that you keep your priorities straight, because the world isn't going to care about how you feel mentally all the time or whether or not you are healthy when you're at home or taking care of yourself. So you got to figure out that space for yourself and figure out the village and the tribe that you want to have around you that supports those goals that you have personally. So I don't want to get too preachy again here. You know how I could speak for hours, but yeah, just that's been the growth since 2017. Even before then, you know, just learning how to be a person in this world, make an impact in a positive way.
So,
All right, stop. after the
no
first
mention
quote.
of the Celtics so far.
Yeah, except for when he got here, saying like I was immature when I got here.
Yes, but no bashing, nothing. Very, very straight answer. Very to the question. Very kind of to the point. He only talked for an hour, but he still had like a lot to say, and he did not go negative.
Yeah, and I'll say this too because it feels like I'll start by saying people can dislike Kyrie. I don't care. I know you dislike Kyrie. That's fine. People are allowed to
Yeah.
dislike and like whoever they want. But I do think there is a part of I'm gonna get Kyrie preachy for a minute. There is a part of sports where like fans almost dissociate the fact that they're like people on the court. They treat them like TV characters. You know what I'm saying? Like that they just like are
Yeah.
there and they can do whatever they want. And Noah asked like Xavier Tillman something about similar to this today. Like she was asking Hauser and Tillman, like sometimes it looks like you guys aren't trying, but like obviously you're not gonna not try in a finals game. So why does it make it look like what makes it look like there's a lack of effort out there to fans who aren't players, like people who don't know what it's like out there? And I think that's a good perspective because like obviously they're trying. It's a finals game, but sometimes it looks and it comes across like maybe they're not trying. And Tillman was like, yeah, I feel like people don't realize that. And maybe it'll be like something that doesn't come across the screen is a, you know, this contagious frustration. And so you're doing all these things. And like, there's a whole mental side of it that people don't take into account when they look at basketball, when they look at people. Cause like, I mean, I'll say like personally, like I've gone through like stuff, like you deal with stuff and you could be dealing with stuff and internalize it. And then that is push it out and you act in a certain way that's maybe not characteristic to yourself, but then people don't know the stuff that you're dealing with behind the scenes. So they just assume like, oh, wow, this guy sucks. And so I think what Kyrie's saying, like, is something that, and again, you're allowed to dislike him for whatever reason, et cetera, but like people don't take into account, like he said, like I was immature when I got here, I was learning all this stuff. And so when you're internalizing that and you don't have a way to express emotions or express how you're feeling or get that out, you lash out and you act in a way that maybe isn't true to the character that you want to put out there and portray. So I do think there is an element to it where like you have to understand that he's a human, he's learning, and he admits it. Like I was immature, I've learned since then, and I've grown, and I've learned how to process that. And it sucks that his time in Boston was marred or affected by that mental state or inability to express emotions. But like he's human, everyone's a person, and like that is not like something individual to Kyrie. That's something every player deals with and goes through. And so I don't think it's fair to necessarily not even fair. Like I said, you can do it, feel however you want, but just understanding that like he is a person, he dealt with stuff at the time. Maybe it didn't come across in a way in the court where he was putting his best self out there, and he has grown since then. And it's not just like, oh, why is he great now in Dallas? He must hate Boston. It's just like, I mean, he's also like 5 years older. And so I do think there's a growth thing to it.
You know, what's funny is nobody ever asked him about Brooklyn. As much as the people here can't stand Kyrie and, you know, he's at the blame of all of the disastrous events of 2019 and everything, I feel like Nets fans should be even more mad at him because he was so excited to play there. He chose to play there, and he pretty much sabotaged all of his years there and then eventually requested a trade when the team was actually playing well.
Well,
I don't think he
realized.
Well, I don't think he realized, you know, like these elements that aren't working until that happened, because it was easy to be like, well, Boston is Boston and it's their fault. But then he kind of had to realize, oh, wait, no, this is happening here too. And then he goes to Dallas and it's kind of like a different, it's like, okay, like this is a new place. Like it's time to begin to act different.
Yes, but I also think Brooklyn, there was a whole other element of things where I wholly disagree with Kyrie's point of view on some things. Obviously, like the COVID
but still,
stuff,
like
the other things,
but like
in general,
it was all
yes.
internal from him. Like it was like he refused to do that. He refused to do that. Like he was, you know, giving them problems aside from that too. Like him and Harden didn't get along.
Yes. I think the getting along stuff is a part of the growing up process. But for example, like let's say whole COVID stuff happened now, and he had to deal with that same thing. I don't think he would change. I don't think he would
He's in
get
the best place.
vaccinated. You know what I'm saying? I think yes, but I just think that's more of a principle, like his own moral principles, rather than him growing up and maturing, which I don't necessarily agree with those principles, but I can appreciate the mental side of things where you need to grow up and learn to get along and et cetera and all that stuff. But
PrizePicks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 5 million members. It is the most fun and exciting way to get in on the action while you watch your favorite sports and players. You just pick more or less on 2 or more player stats for a shot to win up 100 times your cash. With PrizePicks, you could turn $10 into $1,000 in a single game watching your favorite sports this summer. You can make a PrizePicks lineup in as little as 60 seconds. You just need to pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you're locked in. Now, if you're looking for promotions, PrizePicks has got you covered every week, from lowering select player stats projections on Tuesdays, which increases your chance of getting a win, to getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup on Fridays. The finals mean more on PrizePicks, and so do the star players. You get boosted playoffs on selected basketball stars that you won't find anywhere else. Now, this week on PrizePicks, I'm looking at Jason Tatum, more than 26.5 points. Jaylen Brown, more than 3 threes, which may be aggressive, but I'm running with that. Download that app today and use a code CLNS for a deposit match up to $100. PrizePicks. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
anyways, let's go to the next question and look at, because he talks about the Celtics more specifically in this one, so we can. All right, let's see.
David, back left.
David Aldridge, The Athletic. Kyrie, you played in a place in Cleveland that had incredible pressure to win a championship because of the history, and they hadn't won in so long. I wonder, though, what was different about when you came here because of the history of this franchise and the almost expectation of this franchise that every year you're supposed to win a championship here, and if you don't, it's a complete failure.
Yeah, I mean, when I look back on it, getting traded here, this wasn't one of my options. It wasn't like #1 on my list. So when the trade opportunity got approached to me, instead of going back and appreciating the Celtics history, I just came in with an open mind and just kind of like, all right, I'm just going to go with the flow into this. But I think that was the wrong approach, just being young. But now that I'm a little older, hindsight looking back on it, I definitely would have taken the time to get to know people within the community, talk to some of the champions that have come before me, actually extend myself to them instead of the other way around, expecting them to be there for me and give me advice, because they've been through it. They have championship pedigree here. They've shown it for years. They're one of the most winningest franchise in all of sports. So you have to show your respects here. And I think that's what I struggled with initially, was figuring out how I'm going to be a great player here while winning championships, while also leading a team and selflessly joining the Celtics organization or the cult that they have here. And that's what they expect you to do as a player. They expect you to seamlessly buy into the Celtics pride, buy into everything Celtics. And if you don't, then you'll be outed. And I'm one of the people that's on the outs. I'm perfectly fine with that. You know what I mean? I did it to myself. They don't welcome me in with warm embrace, even though I know a lot of people in the organization and my friends still here, some of them. But yeah, it was just a doing to myself. And that's what I was talking about in terms of accepting the choices. But looking back on it, definitely would have showed my respect and had more of a counsel around me from some of the Boston Celtics that came before me to explain what the pressure is like. So.
Okay. There's the answer.
He was halfway there. He was halfway there, and he drove off the highway.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean? How do you listen to that and not see 2 complete different answers?
Yeah, he said I'm on the outs. They don't like him anymore. They don't fuck with me anymore.
He absolutely just drove right off the rails when he goes, he's going through talking about the struggles, joining the Celtics organization or the cult that they have here. It's a cult. I don't think he was saying it in that way. I think he was saying that in the same way he said tribe. I think that's just like the vocabulary. I don't think he meant it in a negative way. I think that's just his weird vocabulary, like the weird way he talks. I did not read it that way. You give him a pass, I guess. I don't take it that way. I think it was a dig.
Well, of course you don't. And people who already don't like Kyrie aren't going to take it that way. And maybe I'm too biased the other
I'm
way.
biased.
But like, it is
completely agree.
exactly.
But you
Exactly.
could also be blind to it because you just want to see like he's a mature guy, and it's probably somewhere in the middle. But like,
Maybe.
this is just another example of like he can't decide if he wants to take the high road or be the victim. He can't pick.
Of course, he's not going to take the high road
It's
all the
my
way.
fault. It's my fault. It's my fault. But this is a cult, and then if you don't do what they want, then they kick you out. I'm okay with being on the outs, but you know, they ousted me. Like,
Yeah,
did they
I did it
oust
to
you or did
myself.
you oust yourself?
Well, he said I did it to my. He did it to himself. He said he did it to himself. What the fuck? He said I did it to myself. Looking back, I would have shown respect and put a better set of people around me.
It is
Like, of
it is
course he did it to
impossible for him to just give an answer that says that last paragraph, though.
Sam,
It's impossible.
he's never going to give but he's never going to. He's never going to give an answer that says
That's fine,
oh,
but
yeah,
I don't
it's
feel
totally
bad.
my bad. I love the Celtics. No one's asking you to feel bad. I'm just like
people
I
are
care.
asking
Like,
you to feel bad. It's oh, he's so much more mature now. Like, you got to give him credit. He's clearly not, because he can't stop shooting himself in the foot.
Why? How is that shooting himself in the foot?
Because he's trying to pretend he's past it. He's past it. He's past it. I'm looking back. Oh, like I made a mistake.
I don't think he's doing that at all. I think he's explaining what happened. I think he's explaining how he did it poorly. He's not like, you're looking at it in the perspective of he should or can try to or might need to endear himself to Celtics fans. He doesn't give a shit about endearing himself to anything. Exactly. And so he doesn't have to completely give that answer that way. He is expressing how he feels. And of course he doesn't like it. Of course he doesn't like Boston. And so he's going to explain what he did wrong and also what happened. And from his perspective, he did get ousted, which is fine. And you can dislike him for it. And Boston is, of course, going to dislike him for it because he acted like a dick when he was here. But he doesn't need to endear himself or give a completely just answer because he is him. He got ousted. And so expecting him to ever give that sort of answer fully is like, it's never going to happen.
It's not an expectation, but it's like, well, is he more mature and is he past it or is he not?
Both. Like he is
not
mature.
Both. It's either or. Are you past it or are you not past it?
He can mature in the sense that he handled it wrong and he personally doesn't care about it anymore, but he can be not past it in the sense that
he clearly
feels
cares
a certain way.
He clearly cares.
Okay.
I'm not doing it to mess with you. Like, he wouldn't say stuff like this if he didn't care. You even said it to me, Jack. Like, if you have a beef with somebody,
he was asked about it. He was asked about it. He was asked about it.
He was asked about it, and he keeps getting asked about it because he can't just say the first part and get past.
He's gonna get.
There is no getting past it.
He's gonna get asked about it regardless. If he wasn't playing the Celtics in the finals, he wouldn't be talking about the Celtics. If he wasn't asked about the Celtics, he wouldn't be talking about the Celtics at all. Ever.
He's not
Never.
running around every day talking about it, but when he's asked about it, he's not just like giving the answer that says I'm past it. It's not completely that.
So what? He can't have matured in the sense that he's grown up and is able to handle things better, but also doesn't like the way things went in Boston from both sides.
He clearly is not past it if he's answering questions like this. So everybody's giving him all this credit. He's acting the same in a very similar way.
Okay. Let's go to the next answer.
Okay.
If it's at all possible, it is impossible to take yourself out of the equation, but just what is it like for a player to come here to Boston when you look up and you see all the banners and everything, you know what this franchise is about and what the expectations are?
Yeah, I mean, you just expect to have a magnifying glass on you everywhere you go. I don't think Boston appreciates being kind of second class to New York in terms of the media capital world, but this is a media capital world as well. There's a lot of history here off the court. So the community is integrated into the Celtics team. That's probably the best way I could say it. The community is what makes the Celtics great here. The Boston pandemonium. That's what makes the space so loud and so special, and they take pride in it. So if any player is coming here, getting drafted here, or thinking about coming here free agency or getting traded here, I just think do your homework and make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. That's something I could offer.
All right. That's the last thing I believe he said about the Celtics in general.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I think so.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yeah,
I don't know if I have anything else off that. The way he reading that quote, "Do your homework." I think it sounds worse in text than he said it, like vocally. I don't think he meant it. Again, we can disagree. I don't care if you dislike him. I don't think there.
What do you think he meant by it?
I think he just meant
curious.
don't do what I did. Don't do it. Like
Okay.
he said earlier in the press conference, like I didn't reach out. I didn't do any of this. So if you're coming here, make sure you ingrain yourself in the history, reach out to people, and don't do what I did. But I also think at the same time, like you keep saying, he doesn't like the Celtics. Of course he doesn't like the Celtics. He didn't handle it well when he came here. And in turn, he was ousted, rightfully so, whatever. Like I'm not saying he was a victim for being ousted. He was ousted because he didn't handle it well. But because he was like, he's now treated like this, that doesn't mean he's going to be like, yeah, it's totally my bad. Like he's never going to stop getting treated like this. So of course he's not going to like the Celtics. Of course he's not going to like Boston. He said that. I'm pretty sure he stomped unlucky for God's sake. Like, of course he doesn't fucking like it here. Of course there's always going to be that hatred, but I think you can simultaneously state that I didn't handle it well. I played my part in it. I did it to myself, but at the same time say like, but yeah, like also didn't like the way that I have been treated since. And again, it can be rightfully so or not. But if you are being booed and you are being treated like that, of course you're not going to like it. And so I think both things, there's multiple truths, the whole thing. So I don't care. I think he has matured. I think he has grown. I do think he is handling himself better now. But at the same time, he doesn't have to fuck with Boston. Of course, he's never going to.
It's not about, to me, it's just not about the second part. It's like, it's pick one. It's either.
Why?
I'm going to explain it. It's either you're more mature and you're past it, or you're not. And it's okay to not be past it. It's okay to be the villain. Being the villain rocks. There are tremendous villains. Kyrie is a tremendous villain. He is, and that's a compliment. He is so great at being the opposition, at being the person that everyone hates for sports reasons. It's sports reasons. They don't really, I mean, he's on the crazier side at times. But the people here don't like him, not because of his personality per se. It's just how he acted here. Like he acknowledges. But that's fine. It's either lean into it or like don't play into it at all. Like there's a weird,
but why?
I can't decide what I want to do with this from him.
Why can't he feel like I handled it poorly? I acknowledge that. I have emotionally grown from that. And at the time I wasn't emotionally equipped to handle it and I didn't handle it well. But also like, obviously I don't like being ousted and I didn't like the way it treated. Why can't he feel both things?
Because it's not a past tense with the other stuff. Like I didn't like it. I don't like it. The first part tries to sweep that away. Like when you explain that, it's I didn't act well. He didn't. But you're continuing not to act well, which is fine, but don't act like there is this huge maturing that has happened because you're clearly doing the same shit.
I just don't see that second part. I think it's both. I think
I mean,
big
he
part
gave,
of it is Boston hates Kyrie, and then people see what they want to see. I truly
that is certainly
you
part
can
of
say
it.
everything you want. You can say anything you want. I can't get there, and I never will. I don't
expect you to get there. We have differing opinions on this. The thing that sticks out to me the most is he had that whole spiel the other day. About he gets great respect when he goes on the street. Don't doubt it. I'm sure people are nice to him. But then he was like, yeah, great community, like a lot of mutual respect. But hey, everybody, don't forget the time the guy threw the water bottle at me. The empty water bottle.
I still haven't seen the water bottle quote. And I'm not saying it didn't happen. I just haven't seen it for myself. And so I don't have the context to talk about.
Gotta pull it up.
Do you know what day it was?
It was when they were here. So let's see. Today's the 16th. A week ago was Sunday. Game 3 was
water bottle. Like, can I go through some of the transcripts and like control F bottle? You know what I'm saying? Like what?
You might say fan.
GameTime makes getting NBA Finals tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the GameTime app actually go down the closer it gets to the tip-off. Like right now, I was looking on the app, and it's really easy to use. Just download the app. Lots of pictures for sports fans. Lots of pictures. And, the tickets for Celtics Game 1 and whoever they play, between $600-$700. But the closer you get to actual tip time, it's going to go down. So you and your friends may do a last-minute thing. And I know it's a lot of money, but maybe it's 2-3 of your friends. Last-minute trip, boom, let's go. Let's see what the tickets are on Game Time. You never know With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, GameTime takes the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets. Last-minute tickets, flash deals, zone deals. Okay, here's the deal. Last-minute deals save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. Now, the flash dealers save even more with exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or the event. Save even more when you choose a section for the zone deals. You choose a section, let GameTime choose the seats. Sounds pretty good to me. Take the guesswork out of buying NBA Finals tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Download GameTime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
All right, I'll have to find.
I'm gonna keep looking myself. We can team effort this. But it might have been the practice day. I'm gonna go through. Here it is.
When? What day?
Wait a
Or
minute. Wait a minute. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to control F the word water bottle because
I don't think he said water bottle.
Okay.
Okay, here it is.
Mhm.
So it was the some things I probably can't get into right now, but I'm wondering from your perspective because I don't know if everybody made a big deal of the shamrock on your pants at Sharon earlier this week. I don't know if there was actually anything to that or not, but you made the comment post game the other night, right? Okay, so this is the one where he talks about when I'm on the street walking around, which I do. You know, it's a lot of love, get a lot of embrace. I take pictures. My dad is here. He played at BU.
I'm going to pull up the clip because I want to hear him say it because I truly do think it is important to hear like the words. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I don't think it's fair to.
It's towards the end. I mean, we've talked about the first part. When he said this first part the other day, it was this big like celebration of him being like, "Oh my God, he's so mature," and like it's the same. It was the inverse of what you felt today, of how like you felt like it got misconstrued. I was just like, well. You had to like throw in that other part. Like pick one.
I'm trying to find I have the what's it called? The transcript. I'm just trying to find exactly when he said it. Okay, it's this next question after he talks here.
Saturday the 8th.
I've got the press conference. I'm just trying to find the question.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Okay, boom. But okay, here we go. I've got it. Sorry, YouTube watchers. I guess this isn't an audio platform, so it's not as much the end of the world. Here we go. Okay.
Some things that I probably can't get into right now, but I feel like I'm wondering from your perspective because I don't know.
Let me go to the start
Celtic
just so I can get
with
context. I want to hear the whole
extracurricular.
Again, on the second row on the right.
Kyrie, Mike Leslie, WFA. I feel like during your time with Dallas, part of why
this isn't the right question.
Of you out. Some things that I probably can't get into right now.
It's this one.
I'm wondering from your perspective because I don't know if there was everybody made a big deal of the shamrock on your pants at shoot around earlier this week, and I don't know if there was actually anything to that or not. But you made the comment post game the other night that you thought it was going to be louder in here, and I guess what I'm wondering is, has this been the hardest moment for you to laser in and focus on basketball because there is so much other stuff going on?
No, not really. Again, I've been able to grow over the past few years to put basketball in perspective. This is an incredible experience that I get to live out for quite a few years in my life. I'm going to learn a lot of lessons that I'm going to apply to life after this. I failed miserably while also not knowing how to compartmentalize or accept the emotions that come with failure, and also being on the successful side, didn't know how to handle that either. So the past few years have been about that growth perspective for me, and learning how to handle myself in situations and circumstances that are going to be more beneficial for me to learn now than learning it when I'm 38 years old and I'm looking back at my career and I don't even know how to celebrate that. You know, I don't expect to be celebrated by everybody. I'm gonna still be aware that a lot of people want to see me fail, but again, I think I pay attention more to the way that I'm celebrated from people that love me unconditionally, and I go home and I have a peace of mind. And Thinking about my time in Boston, I could go down a myriad of things that none of you in here know that I was dealing with. I don't think a lot of people would care. I think a few people would care and want to hear about it. And I would leave that space open in the future if you ever wanted to hear about it. But putting in perspective, it's just the blow up dolls, all the, remarks that are getting said. That's basketball. When I leave out of here and I walk around Boston, I don't hear a lot of the things that I hear when I'm playing on the court. There's a lot of mutual respect. There's a lot of eye-to-eye communication that's built on just being human. And they appreciate the things I do off the floor as well. So there are a lot of Celtics fans out there that still love me too, surprising to everybody. But when I'm on the street walking around, which I do, it's a lot of love. I get a lot of embrace. I take pictures. My dad is here. He played at Boston University. So there has to be a respect there, because if anything happens to my family while I'm here, then it goes way beyond the game, and I don't forget things either. Somebody threw something at me here while I was here. I've heard it all. Nobody asked me how I felt after that and why it could be a little bit of a traumatic response when I'm back in this environment after somebody does something like that, So things have changed since then. I've been able to accept what I cannot change, but also change the way that I look at things to be more positive. So this is fun for me, man. This is healthy. I'm glad that I could be up on this stage speaking authentically and then also go home and be at peace.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I don't feel the same way as you, unfortunately.
He gave a great answer in this question.
He did.
He did. It was awesome. And then he was like, yeah, the guy threw the water bottle at me.
Yes. Sam, if somebody threw a water bottle at you, how would you feel?
I would lead with that.
Just genuinely. What? I
would lead with that. That's how I would be like, well, I wouldn't do all the shit about it's great, but
you can feel multiple things. I think the point that he's making, the whole answer is he understands that there's a basketball thing. He even said the blow up doll. He doesn't care about. I thought the blow up doll thing was weird, but even him saying that's basketball. They don't, you know what I'm saying? But him saying the blow up doll thing, that's basketball. Him even acknowledging, I don't think he even said that was weird. I think he was like, yeah, that's basketball. They don't like me. I get that. But when you leave, there's a human aspect. And I think in his mind, which, yeah, no shit, fair, getting something thrown at you and actively doing something that crosses the basketball line into the human aspect. And so I think the point he's trying to make is there's basketball and there's human. And I get the basketball. I get that. People aren't going to like me. Yeah, duh. No shit. I probably don't like them either. I definitely don't like them either. But the human thing is where's the problem. Him saying if something happened to my family, that'd be the problem. I don't forget things. People throw a water bottle at me, that's a problem, etc. But the fact that he's saying I still get pictures, I think that's him acknowledging there can be both things. People I've said this for years, and you despite the comments saying, oh, changing your opinion now. No, I've said this for years. I think I could go up to Kyrie and have a conversation with him. I think there's a difference between basketball hatred and human hatred, and I think the water bottle was crossing the line. And I think that's all he was saying.
We can disagree. I'm not here to get you worked up.
That's fine. That it? Anything else?
No.
Okay. Cool.
Good half hour on Kyrie. 15 of it was Kyrie talking.
Fine. Let us know what you think in the comments. I'm sure this is going to be great for me. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of people agreeing with me. Leave a like, subscribe. I'll let Sam take it out.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening and watching. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you don't miss any of our daily uploads. Hopefully, very happy video in the morning tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Full pods coming at you Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps morning after each game and other videos to keep you busy in between. Busy. Is busy a word? I don't think it's a word. Talking C's is live on the channel Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Celtics the Roundtable Tuesday evenings, and then pregame. Half hour before every single game. Come hang out. Come get loose. Laugh at some jokes. It's a ton of fun. Good way to get ready for the game. We're here for you. Subscribe, leave a like, leave nice comments. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple. Our pods and game recaps are there for you. So if you subscribe, they go right into your feed. Leave a 5-star review. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. We will be going through those emails probably tomorrow, right? At some point, hopefully. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when they come in. The emails. Because by the time, if they win, by the time that we're recording, we'll probably be very late. I'm sure we'll have a couple. If we have emails after the game and we record.
We had a comment asking us to do the whole pod after the game, and I don't think.
Buddy, I don't think you understand.
Yeah. I still wonder if we should just do like
We
not
can
even
just do
like
a recap.
not even just a recap, but like we could go for like 40, 45. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like
Yeah.
the normal 20. I don't know. We'll play it out. We'll see how we feel.
We'll
tomorrow. I just
see.
don't know
You'll
how
get
good
something
it's gonna
good
go.
regardless.
Like for us to go from talking about the title to all right, let's talk about Zach LaVine trade. That seems just a
Yes. Very
bit.
fair.
We'll figure it out.
Socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook's the name of the pod. Streams are there. They're on YouTube. And they are on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's at Jack's Money NBA. Mine is at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Taco, come on.
Taco's having some fun here.